Welcome back to Brook Farm in Scarborough, Maine. It's August 18th and we're on the second day of a really hot streak here. It's in the low 90s and very humid. And what you're looking at is just a little attempt here to try to keep the colonies cool. We've tipped the covers back, which gives a little bit more air circulation at the top. Underneath these colonies, it is open screen board underneath. So there's a hardware cloth mesh underneath. And what you see here are some bees fanning down on the front cover, right on the landing board. You can see them with their wings flat, they're just beating their wings, and they're moving air, circulating air. And then there's a few coming and going, foraging, probably foraging for water today. The bamboo bloom has just started, and if it wasn't for this hot streak, I'm sure they'd be more into the bamboo. I want this hot weather to dissipate so that we can get it into the bamboo forage, because that's a big source of nectar for us here at Brook Farm. And what you'll see is I've tipped the lid back just a little bit, gives you a little bit bigger opening. The opening at the bottom of the hive is wide open here on the front as well, and underneath is totally open screen. And what you're looking at here are thousands of honeybees, and these guys are hanging out in the shade. And what they'll do is they'll rotate back into the front. If you see all the ones on the front, they're kind of holding on, they're cleaning the board a little bit, and they've all got their wings slanted. They got their abdomens hitched up, and they're trying to move as much air as possible. The ones that are coming and going, I don't see much pollen on them, so they're probably bringing water back. There is some dark pollen on there on some of them that I'm looking at now. Bees forage for pollen. They forage for nectar, water, and propolis. And on a day like this, one of the strongest things that they have to be careful of is keeping the hive cool, because the wax will melt at 100 and something degrees. It's 90 degrees outside now, and these frames are just full of wax. And so what we're doing here is making sure they're just doing whatever they can. They have to take all precious resources. All of these bees here should be either foraging or receiving the forage back. Some of these are small house bees, I can tell by looking at them. And when they're sitting here like this, I'm concerned about swarming. And I've got some, looks like some scout bees in one of the trees out front. One of these spruce trees up here. There's some spruce trees right there, and there's some scout bees that are scouting out a spot. Different colonies swarmed twice to that same tree last year. And when I see this going on, the other colonies, as you can see, don't have any significant force hanging out front. They're keeping cool. This one is telling me that there are too many bees, basically, and they're getting swarmy. And what we're worried about here is they're just going to swarm. I'm going to have to try to catch them. So, hot day at Brook Farm, and what we're hoping for is that we will get a little break in the hot weather. I'll come over here to this one. This is 2 5-frame nukes. In this colony here, there's 2 colonies here. One, as you see, on the front, and one on the back. And the one on the back, 3 or 4 days ago, I found a swarm cell in there. So, and there's not many bees hanging out on the outside, so I'm wondering if they have swarmed. And what you see here are the bees hanging out on the outside and hanging out in the shade. On the shady side here, they're hanging out in the shade. They're just trying to stay cool. They get out of the hive and they take turns rotating in. And as you can see, they're just shimmering. And I see pollen coming back, pollen, water. And what we have here, as I said, is the first day. We've got goldenrod, which is right here. And goldenrod is good late August forage here in Maine. And what you have over here, we pan up for a final shot, is a bamboo patch. And the bamboo, right there, you can just see the white on the top. You see the yellow is goldenrod and the white is bamboo. And that has just started to bloom. And if we can get a little break in the weather here, they can move from the goldenrod into that bamboo. And last year they really did a beautiful job with the bamboo. and brought us in 180 pounds of bamboo honey. So another installment from Red Brook Farm, Scarborough, Maine. www.redbrookhoney.com.